Hey glitches, today we got another banging video. If you haven't already, join the loop on my Discord. We're hosting events with six-figure entrepreneurs. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Alright, let's get right into the video.
Let's go for a playlist. What's going on, guys? I'm about to put a good playlist. Give me a second. Playlist. It might be this. There we go, what's up? Todo bien. Nate, so guys, I'm going to be here on for just a couple minutes. I want to say hi. See how everyone's doing in the meta. As to what I've been up to, guys, a lot of very interesting things. But yeah, I'm just gonna chop it up with you guys, answer a few questions. I'm not gonna go too crazy on biohacking or anything, just heads up. I'm just keeping it chill. Keeping it chill, mellow, cause I'm already about to bounce again, leaving the mountain. How's everyone doing? Random live, yeah, always, yeah. Whenever I have some time, guys, always dropping sauce. Yeah. Alright. So I'm gonna see if anybody is in anime shreds, you can definitely join in terms of a call. If you're not, don't call please, because I won't accept. Doing good. Cheers. Thoughts on homemade shampoo? I mean, it's the best way to do it. You have to remember, every time you're dealing with massive corporations, back in the day it used to be, what's the cheapest thing I can buy? Now it's kind of like people are undercutting each other, being cheap, but also cheap ingredients, right? So you have to go with either you make it yourself or somebody you know. That's more or less how I roll. But I'm not the kind of person that's like, don't get showers, right? Or don't use shampoo. Those people tend to smell. Yeah. How did you transfer your fat from fit? If you want to learn how to go from fat to fit, just join Anime Shreds. Everything's there. You can start reading the first Forbidden Scroll. Masterpiece. What are some good things to do to improve vision? It's a vernacular of aspects you can look at, right? First of all is understanding blue light exposure is terrible for the brain. Then you have to understand that the brain, right? Like an ancient scripture once said that the windows to the soul, right, are through the eyes. And people don't understand that before it reaches the soul, it goes to the brain. And your brain and your eyes are basically one. They're connected, right? So what are you feeding your eyes? Not only in terms of information, but like what spectrum of light are you feeding it? And blue light has shown to damage the brain, especially over long periods of time. Even back in the day, when they're studying people with certain projects, which I'm not going to mention, but they realized that blue light put people in a certain state of being that was a lot easier to manipulate or control. So yeah, red light for sure. Blockers, it's the way to do it. And I would say from personal experience, because I've played a lot of video games, did a lot of econ back in the day, did a lot of crypto, spent a lot of time in front of a blue light screen. And you're like, yeah, it doesn't affect you, but it affects you. Especially before you go to sleep, and it goes compounding, you don't get your circadian rhythm right. And then you get stressed, and it's just like, yeah, a mess. Yeah, so blue light, guys, blue light is for bots. BLB, blue light bots. I like it. Brother, are you still consuming meat? Yes, I do eat the meat. Don't beat the meat. Eat it. That sounded kind of gay as well. Don't do that. Just eat. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to convey. Guys, honestly, I've shredded like crazy. I'm probably looking some of the leanest I've ever looked, and I haven't done any cardio at all. Like, at all. Yeah. So, it just proves metabolic flexibility, feasting and fasting windows, kind of segue and compound in a harmonious way with a lifestyle that you're very productive and proactive and have to be on the go and on the computer and on the move, right? You're not correlated or dependent on a location or physical regimen to look lean. Bah. Vamos Argentina, carajo. Yeah, great game. Great final. Carnivore diet. I dropped my sauce on anime shreds, but I don't think any sort of diet long term is conducive. I feel like you should cycle, even if it's a little bit, within the diet itself. Don't become rigid or dogmatic. How does your diet look like? Going to anime shreds. What a wise man once said, don't beat the meat. Alright. Thoughts on nicotine for focus? Nicotine, if it's clean nicotine, there's a plethora of benefits that expand focus, right? There's other cognitive formulas or concoctions or tinctures that one can implement to have great cognition. Nicotine bypasses that. Nicotine is in a whole different spectrum and realm of protection when you start talking about certain exogenous, potentially endogenous, poisonous peptides in the water. But that's a different, longer story. But definitely I would suggest tapping into nicotine. How to whiten teeth, eliminate bad breath. Baking soda, coconut oil, maybe some tea tree oil, 1 or 2 drops, and just brush your teeth with that. Ideally, don't do too much baking soda all the time because it can get rid of the enamel, right? Do you recommend oatmeal for breakfast? No, don't eat oatmeal. Very, very seldomly do I eat. Make a thesis on nicotine? All right, here's my thesis on nicotine. Thesis. So, yeah. Ooh, I'm thinking the song. All right, guys, so I got myself right here a very infamous blend to cleanse the lungs. This is ideal for people that smoke, right? That kind of want to smoke something that's a little bit healthier for them. So, I'm about to smoke here in front of everyone. I don't smoke often, but when I do, I like to cleanse my lungs. And if you do smoke, guys, there are ways and protocols that you kind of like have to start incorporating into your sequencing, because smoking over long periods of time can be very damaging. That being said, I might bring somebody on for a call, let them rant so I can smoke. And this actually keeps it mellow. And then I have some vagus nerve stimulation, breathing patterns that I do, some tinctures, so I like pass out really quick. Yeah. Thesis, nicotine, smoke show. Not really, guys. Like, you shouldn't be smoking that much. Like, that's the truth. Especially anything that's not good or potentially boosts the oxidative stress in the lungs, right? So, do I smoke cannabis? Guys, ideally, you shouldn't smoke THC. Let's see if I can back this up. There's a plethora of reasons you don't want to smoke THC. First of all, most people don't have the money, right, to do it. Second of all, since they don't have the money, they go for cheaper variables and cheaper I wouldn't even call it cannabis, right? It's just straight up you're smoking THC. Like, a Rastafarian once said that true ganja has been bastardized by the West, right? You're talking about 5% THC, 4% THC, heavily focused on CBG, CBD. It's a complete different ballgame and complete different aspect that some guy in the ghetto buying 50-60% THC laced with chemicals, right, at a cheap price, and he's like passing out. So yeah, I would suggest, first of all, it's also been shown high levels of THC over long periods of time can conduce to low blood flow levels to the brain, which is not ideal because most people are living a sedentary lifestyle anyway. Most people just shouldn't be doing it. That's the truth. That being said, this is not cannabis, guys. I'm not going to be smoking cannabis. I would suggest most people shouldn't. This is actually a blend of herbs, very smooth, very mellow. And I don't smoke often, but when I do, I like to show it in front of everyone. That way I have all the biohackers being like, it's so bad for your lungs. I'm like, well, there's ways to bypass that. Dun, dun, dun. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna bring somebody on to talk. So raise your hands if you wanna talk. If not, I'm probably just gonna bounce because I got stuff to do. What kind of herbs? I'm not gonna say. Blue lotus is in here, and mullein leaf is also one of the herbs in here. But it's a plethora of herbs. I also have holy basil. So here's the name of the game, guys. It's understanding things are not the way they seem. Understanding that if you want to hedge yourself against society, you have to do things differently. This includes the physical realm. This includes the spiritual realm. This includes the way you look at things. And this can be for your training. This can be for how do you make money. This can be for a plethora of facets, right? But just do the opposite of what most people do, right? So that's just my rant for you guys. And that's something I've noticed in life. And I see guys that have $20 million, $30 million in the bank and they're like, bro, I need 200 million. I need 300 million. And in my brain, I'm like, okay, all you need is to understand that Fiat is a big scam. Understand that if you can master that scam in terms of like being able to pocket fiat currency, that's when the real game actually begins, because that's when you have desires, goals, and ambitions that you potentially want to achieve, not only for yourself, but for like centuries to come. That being said, it's a viable option. We have fiat as a resource. So I tell everybody, I'm like, once you have a goal, mission, a purpose in life, and you have fiat currency, right? It's almost like you're literally either James Bond or Sherlock Holmes. Like, it's free game. And when you understand that there's other players on the board that understand that it's free game, that's when things start to get like very spicy in terms of life. And that's why I was off social media for a whole year. Like, there's a lot of things going on that I can't talk about. But yeah, that being said, guys, a lot of big things coming in Anime Shreds, and I just want to swing by, say hi. Goblin Town, smoke a little bit so I can have all the Pharisees and the Sadducees from the biohacking realm come after my butt. Alright. Meme coins. I mean, dude, I've made a lot of money on meme coins. I've lost money, I've made money. You just have to do the right plays. What do you think about dark chocolate? Fantastic. I do a lot of dark chocolate. I feel like gains are superior, strength is superior. Yeah, you just need to make sure it's high quality. You know, make sure that there's no heavy metals, and if you don't like the flavor, bypass it with some sort of flavor that's sweet. Yeah, guys, you can grow height. Yeah, fasting, yeah, boosting, all that stuff. Everybody knows this. Stretching, decompressing, you look taller. Oh, guys, yeah, Vegas vlog is coming out very soon. Yeah, it's actually going to be quite fantastic, if I do say so myself. That being said, guys, we have kind of like a lot of crazy transformations in Anime Shreds. So, aesthetic physique, like mine, like I literally just said it, guys, unconventional training, unconventional results. Like anybody who's gone in Anime Shreds understands that the way I perceive fitness is completely different than everybody else. I'm not saying that my way is the right way. I'm just saying my way is a viable option as I decided to adopt a different stance and not adopt the group or the herd mentality, right? So that's kind of like my take on the whole phenomena happening in the fitness space in 2024. How can it do sun cycle without getting tanned? Well, that's going to be a little bit hard since you have to be out in the sun, right? You could maybe do it with red light therapy if you have the resources to buy like a medical grade one or a decent one. Connect it and then do some sort of, formulate some sort of training indoor where you're not getting exposed to the sun. Now my question is to you, why don't you want to get yourself exposed to the sun when it's such a great gift, right? And you don't have to do it at peak times to get super tan, but you can still like enjoy it for what it is, which is honestly, I'm telling everybody, like if you ask me, Mr. Belmar, would you have to pick sun cycle or moon cycle for shreds? I would tell you sun cycle, like 100%. And in terms of like the strategies, the formulations, the sequencing, the protocols, potentially even the stacking, you can go into anime shreds. Everybody already knows that. What's my favorite anime? I don't have one. Yeah, having gotten burned after drinking chlorophyll. Yes, sir, that is correct. If you clean out your diet, get rid of all the rancid oils, become one with the substance you intake. If you understand feasting and fasting cycles, you understand how to prompt your body to become metabolically flexible, to be in a fasted state, in a state where you're actually scavenging for resources, and then you introduce things and supplements in a liquid state, which becomes more bioavailable, right? And you introduce chlorophyll, then you do start picking up some photobiomodulation slash like photosynthetic like properties from the plants, right? And then not only that, then you get the magnesium. So it's and I'm saying, because I've been sun poisoned. I've been told by the doctors never go in the sun again, right? And now I'm literally bling bling golden in the sun, and I'm feeling recharged and fantastic. So I don't know, you tell me, right? Yeah. That being said, guys, tap into sun cycle. Got the routines. Yeah. Do I count my calories or eat clean? I never count my calories. I don't track my testosterone levels. I don't keep track of how much I weigh, right? Like I just generally don't. And I have the resources, like they're like, hey, we'll do the test for free. And I'm like, oh, I'm really good. I feel good, right? Now, if you're like Mr. Belmar, would you do a test where it's kind of like, you don't know what your numbers are, and you say you're going to do something like boost your testosterone, get the test, you don't see it, and then do your protocols, and then redo the test and compare the numbers? I'd be down with like something like that, because more like a gamification aspect. I'm just not obsessed with numbers, guys. Like, I feel like people just become super obsessed with, oh, like, did you sleep well? Yes or no? Like, you get a pretty good gist, and they look at the rings, and they're like, well, the ring told me I didn't sleep well, so I guess I didn't sleep well. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. Like, just be intuitive. Put yourself in the right setting, the right environment, and thrive. Yeah. ADHD, not real. Correct. ADHD is not real. I've been diagnosed with ADHD back in the day. Issue was I was just tons of sugar, hyperpalatable foods, boring teachers, dumb teachers, terrible environment. Like, no wonder nobody's going to pay attention. We should give ADHD to the people giving us ADHD for putting us in such a bad environment and putting them in prison for 2 years for basically sabotaging the human species. Guys, come on. Good questions or I'm gonna bounce, to be honest. Ad is cap. I don't even know what that means. It's the TikTok brain. I think actually my bounce. Favorite nootropic? Don't have one, but there's many that are good. How to take lion's mane? Well, tincture, orally, powder. What books do you read? I'm reading very interesting books and books that are older. I do give my recommendations sometimes on Anime Shreds, but I feel like I might just do like a whole glossary with books that I read. Yeah. Just bots, bro. Bots. All I'm going to say is we should probably take advantage of sun cycle while we still have the sun the same way. Got him. Yeah. How long was your longest fast? So people in Anime Shreds know that I talk about very different fasts, right? Different styles of fasting and how you can combine fast within fasts and to make like the most of it in terms of like pushing yourself, in terms of progressive overloading your fasting game, right? Like boosting those XP points. And there's a plethora of options that one could tap into, like GLP-1, sparkling water. Like there's several protocols and several things one can do to induce satiety, right? And not feeling like you're super hungry. Do you take Shilajit? I haven't taken Shilajit in a while, but I do recommend it. You just have to be careful because most Shilajit and heavy metals, high levels, and some of it just basically it's not even Shilajit. It's other products like molasses, right? And they just kind of like upcharge you. Guys, all I'm gonna say about the Vegas was it was my first time in Vegas, right? I have so many things to say about Vegas. Like I could literally do a 2-hour round just Vegas on the few days I was there. One thing I did find very interesting was it's just so botted, all the guys on the machines. Just like clicking their life away, and you're like, okay, you would probably have a better time just buying a PS5, right? And playing with your homies, you would have a higher probability of getting quote unquote a win or a dub, right? Whether it's not in the real world, than just like, I don't know, it's just, it looks so dumb from a third perspective, from like a third view. Maybe they're enjoying the dopamine hits, but I would suggest that there's better ways to enjoy dopamine. Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I was just like walking there, and then they all look at you like dressed like a ninja, and they're like, "What is this guy doing here?" And I'm like looking at them, I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And we just kind of cohabit. That's how it is. This kind of reminds me of Gamabunta's pipe. Just a smaller variation of it. It's still a Japanese pipe. I feel like this is a way better option than smoking like tobacco, like a cigar. Like I just don't like smoking cigars. I feel it's just dumb. Like I get it once in a while, but like thinking you're cool and like taking photos of you smoking a cigar in front of your Lambo, it's just dumb. Like anybody can do that. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. What? I actually might drop the blend in Anime Shreds of what I'm smoking. I'll tell you what's in it though. Alright guys? So, it's only 3 things. It's all organic. It's 50% raspberry leaf, which I would highly suggest women drinking raspberry leaf tea as it kind of provides a certain state of homeostasis for women. Men as well, unless you have man boobs, right, or gyno, then you kind of would avoid your estrogen levels. So we have raspberry leaf 50%, organic lemon balm leaf 25%, which kind of like mellows you out as well. So with a tincture, I might do some Celtic salt and also some magnesium, pass out, and then peppermint leaf So we got raspberry leaf, lemon balm leaf, peppermint leaf. Phenomenal combination. Once again, I don't endorse smoking, but if you do this over terrible stuff. Who's winning in a boxing match, me or Luke? I mean, doesn't really matter, to be honest. People try to prove their masculinity through their fists. Should probably start proving masculinity to see who can keep his dick in his pocket, right? Inside his pants. Maybe that should be a new standard of masculinity. Do you still do e-com, like drop shipping? I did e-com. I did a lot of e-com back in the day. I've done a lot of money with e-com. As to what I'm doing now, my full focus is anime shreds. It's my passion. It's what I'm basically it's my life's work, I'd say, in terms of everything I've learned, everything I've been able to compile, and just being able to create an ecosystem for like-minded individuals honestly has proven to be quite a feat. That being said, there is a mysterious project called Project X that will be coming out very soon that has nothing to do with what you have seen so far. Guys, I think I'm gonna be start doing some podcasts soon. So if you have any recommendations, just let me know in the comments. Probably be doing Miami, Europe. So yeah, just let me know who's the vibe and who's a bot. Because if somebody's a bot, even if they have like millions of followers, I just can't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? That being said, we do need more shredded people on planet Earth. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it should get to a point where you like see a shredded person and you're not like breaking a neck, right? It should be like how it used to be. Like everybody's kind of like fit, normal. I'm not condoning overweight people. I'm just saying you shouldn't propagate that lifestyle as it being the most optimal, viable option. And basically everybody that doesn't comply is either a douchebag or a hater or blah, 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 blah. And then when it's the other way around, you take your shirt off, you're basically an egotistical narcissist because you worked really hard via sweat equity, right? So I do think there is quite a dichotomy in the matrix itself. But who cares? I just take my shirt off and I'm like, dude, you want to get shredded? It's time you get your act together. That's all I gotta say. Crazy. And what really actually got me angry, and I started, because I only started posting this whole like fat thing recently, and it was one video that kind of triggered me. It was an overweight, very overweight girl, 6 years old, couldn't get up in a little playground, right? Like, I'm talking about simple stairs. Like, she looked like a little hippopotamus. Like, I'm just straight up. Not being mean, but that's the truth, and it's facts. And it's very interesting to observe that, right, and think it's normal, when only a generation ago, or 2 generations ago, that would have been like, what's going on with a child? It's sick, right? And now it's like normal. Now you ask me, Nate, are you concerned with this itself? I'd be like, no, it's reversible, right? What I'm concerned with is the next generation and the generation after that, where they're so fat and overweight that they see mommy and granddaddy getting up on the playground. They're like, wait, how do you do that, right? That's what I'm concerned about. That being said, it's very easy for society. When I'm talking about society, I'm talking about the conjuncture, the matrix, the system itself, to establish certain systems that people have to abide by that tend to be very negative. And then cause a problem, show you the solution, and make you feel bad about the problem when they caused it underneath. So I don't blame people. Like, yes, it's very hard to eat healthy, yes. But it's even harder if it's a food desert, or it's a lot harder if you're in certain areas. What I'm trying to convey is if society as a whole would benefit from it, and people would benefit from it. And it's very interesting because I see that the matrix, and when I talk about the matrix, I'm talking about the system. There's different matrices within matrices. But one of them is the food matrix. And they give you all the advice, right? They tempt you. Then you fall for it. Then they make you feel bad. And then all the healthy people are trying to tell you to eat well. They're the villains. And they're the ones being ostracized. When they're the ones that are trying to shed light and haven't even caused the problem. So I see like this whole thing going on. And I'm like, dude, this is just craziness. And then you see all the fitness influencers and the health influencers fighting with themselves when they shouldn't be even fighting with themselves. Right? Because they're all trying to do the same thing. That being said, that's just a rant for the night. I've got a lot of stuff to do, and I just wanted to drop by, say hi. I'll probably leave this video up for a couple hours, and then I'll delete it as usual.